welcome. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back, everyone. Off in the distance, we see the Navigator of the Seas, the last ship to leave Port Everglades this evening. Well, the last passenger cruise ship. Jewel left. Yeah, I noticed that you weren't here. I'm guessing you were FaceTiming with your brother or something when Jewel was sailing away. But yep, last ship is the Navigator of the Seas, and she is just ahead on the other side of this park. So she's going to be coming into the turning basin, and then she'll be right in front of us in just a couple minutes. For those of you just joining us, JC Walker, are you? I was not paying attention. JC Walker, you're not Wilson, are you? I was just watching Periscope on Liberty, the sail away. No, on with Wilson. Okay, very good. Yeah, I was just watching his scope. Sorry, I'm still trying to keep track of people's names and Periscope IDs and whatnot. Anyway, for those just joining, my name is Bill, and every week, you're driving earlier, excuses, every week, we are here at either the beach right there, Fort Lauderdale, where the rocks are there, or the jetty here at John U. Lloyd State Park. And we watch cruise ships sail out. We talk about cruising. I make up some facts about cruising. People call me out on it. It's a good time for everyone. Again, Navigator of the Seas is the last cruise ship to sail out of Port Everglades this evening. It's a beautiful vessel, the favorite of a few people in this room, I have a feeling, or in this broadcast. And it's the ship that will be on February 17, February 20 of 2017, rather. Sorry, with the RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com group cruise 9-night to the Southern Caribbean ABC Islands. Was this Birch State Park? I remember that name. Are you sure that's the one? I know they're about to rename this park to that long, complicated name that only Larissa can manage to remember. But I'm glad they are, because the reasons are all good. Larissa, what's the soon-to-be name of this park?
Oh my God! Now you put me on the spot. It's Von D. Mitzel and Eula Johnson State Park.
There we go, Von D. Mitzel and Eula Johnson State Park. But for right now, it's still John U. Lloyd State Park here in Fort Lauderdale. And Navigator's always the last one to sail out when she's here, and she comes from all the way down in the intercoastal waterways. So it takes a little while. You can see the stack over that fence there. Should be in front of us in just a moment. Biggest donations went out. That may be how it works. I think this one was a political appeal, but again, a good one. It went from, so John U. Lloyd apparently, and I'm going to paraphrase a lot of this and probably screw it up, was a guy who he was an attorney that had to do with something with the segregation of this beach, whereas
of beaches,
beaches in general. Okay, gotcha. So in the park will be named now after a politician and a civil rights activist who helped to desegregate beaches, including this one right here.
That one wasn't segregated.
So, well,
you have backwards.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That was not a segregated beach, but to make all beaches equal, to allow everyone to enjoy all the beaches. How's that? Really screwed up that explanation, didn't we? That's why you come here to my Periscopes. It's at Monorail Medic for confusing and inaccurate facts about names of state parks. Anywho, you see the Navigator of the Seas coming up to the turning basin here at Port Everglades in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It's been a beautiful day here. Started out my day in Vero Beach at Disney's Vero Beach Resort. It was lovely. Walked around, had brunch, had a good time. And it's still a beautiful day here, a little further south in Fort Lauderdale. Navigator of the Seas, excuse me, again, favorite ship of many. I always like seeing her when it's a little bit darker, too. Really, really pretty. Nick, soon enough. Soon enough. I know it never feels that way, but I think my next sailing is either beginning of June or beginning of July. Still got to figure it out. But if it's the beginning of June, it's on the Enchantment. So maybe you'll join me. I think it's June 10th if that plays out. Again, though, if you're looking at that ship that's going to be right in front of us soon, you're thinking, man, I want to be on that ship. I want to be on the Navigator of the Seas. Matt over at the RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, he runs a great site. He periscopes daily at the RCL blog on Periscope, and the Royal Caribbean blog has a group cruise, has one in September on Freedom, and then another Navigator in February of 2017. And it's a great time. We just did 2 months ago, did the group cruise on the Allure of the Seas, had an amazing time, met some new friends. Highly encourage you to go to RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com/events, get a free no obligation quote. There's some great group rates, lock in a good price, and if it turns out you can't go, that's okay. You can always cancel or change. But want to make sure you lock in a good low price, and hopefully we can see you there. If the question was my favorite ship, I don't have one. Really liked the QE2. She does not sail any longer. She was a Cunard vessel. Might have been my favorite, but now, you know what? It's just like favorite cruise line question. It depends where I'm going, what I'm looking for. Am I looking for just a relaxing getaway? Am I looking to see new places, do new things? It all depends. That Allure of the Seas group cruise was actually my first Royal Caribbean sailing. Many cruises, but that was my first Royal Caribbean sailing, and it was very different on such a mega ship with all those things too. Not necessarily what I'd usually look for in cruising, but man, it was a great time, and I recommend everyone does it at least once. It was an amazing ship to see, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the Navigator, the one right in front of us, up close in person in February of 2017. Hello, thank you for joining. Oop. I just walked really far away from Larissa. RCL favorite? You mean, is RCL my favorite? Again, I don't really have favorite ships or cruise lines. They all have great things about them. Honestly, Celebrity has kind of become my go-to because they had a lot of things for me. Favorite ship on Royal Caribbean? Well, the only ship I've sailed on in Royal Caribbean, me personally, is the Allure of the Seas. Loved it. But I think I'll probably like something smaller even better. Highly recommend everyone does the Allure of the Seas at some point. It's just such a magnificent experience. I enjoy smaller ships, and I enjoy seeing the water everywhere I am, so that was a little bit different. Butterfly, which Celebrity ship are you going to be going on? Yeah, Radiance class. I love the look of the Radiance class ships. We were talking about that when the Jewel was sailing away, because again, I love seeing the water. I love the views and all the glass on those ships. Samuel Cunard, indeed, that Haligonian, was the creator of Cunard Line. Yep. Won the Royal Mail contract. That's how that all started. Butterfly, I apologize. Did you answer which Celebrity ship are you going on? I'm doing the Reflection in December. I've done the Constellation and the Century before. Really excited about seeing the Reflection for a 7-night out of Port of Miami. So here she's coming in front of us now, Navigator of the Seas. You see people out on the bow enjoying. On a number of the RCL ships, you can go out on the bow, enjoy the view from there. It's pretty cool because on most ships, that is an off-limits location. So it's neat that they do that. Hello, Cancun. Are you in Cancun on a cruise, or are you or do you live in Cancun? And Ohio, you're not on a cruise in Ohio, I bet. Just a guess. First cruise was on the Navigator. That's probably a pretty good way to start, I bet. Oh, need info on choosing. I gotcha. So Celebrity right now only sails really two classes of ships: Solstice class and Millennium class. Solstice are larger, have some more amenities. Millennium class they're not small ships, but they're smaller than the Solstice class and a little more classic. They're both phenomenal and somewhat similar experiences. I would say Solstice is a little more contemporary from what I've seen. Let's see. Am I going? Cruise Planner, I will be on the Navigator on the group cruise, and you should be too. This is the Navigator of the Seas. That's my boat. Weather here is lovely. Couldn't tell you, actually, it's probably mid-70s. Smells a bit like decaying organic matter, but that's just because of where we are in the direction of the wind at the moment. But, I wanted to share that with you guys. But it is a lovely and beautiful day here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And it was lovely in Vero, where I started out my day. Thank you guys for sharing, and thank you for all the hearts. Navigator of the Seas, a really beautiful vessel. I almost wish it was a little darker, because she's really pretty at night, guys. Love ships at night, but Navigator seems especially beautiful when I've seen her sail by in the evening when sun sets. You got a hump balcony. On all of my cruises, out of all my cruises, I've never had a unique room like that. One day, gonna have to try that out. Hello, Chile.
Sir, just one more time, be advised, so we'll be following in that stat hero off the starboard bow there. You'll be following them.
So the Navigator of the Seas, the final cruise ship to leave out of Port Everglades for today here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Earlier we watched the Allure of the Seas, we saw the tail end of the Veendam, we saw the Pacific Princess, Carnival Conquest, the Jewel of the Seas. You wish you were here, and I wish I was on that vessel right there, the Navigator of the Seas. Florida's nice, ships are better. Now, the Navigator is going to be back in Fort Lauderdale on Saturday, and when it is, Matt of the Royal Caribbean blog will be sailing on her. So, be sure you follow at the RCL blog on Twitter and Periscope. I'm sure he'll be, as much as possible, updating and live blogging throughout his sailing and showing a video of his sail away. We'll try and be out here as well, catching it from a different angle. But be sure to check that out. Again, that's at the RCL blog on Twitter and Periscope. He'll be on that ship next week. And make sure you check out the RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com if you don't already. You could join us on that ship right there, Navigator of the Seas, for the group cruise in February. You can get a free no obligation quote from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Locking a low rate now. Which scope should you watch? Actually, I was thinking on my drive down here that I will coordinate with Matt and make sure we don't step on each other. That way we can get both sides, and you don't have to make tough choices. Unless you're like me and you have too many phones, tablets, and computers, and then you spring them all.
Yeah, once this passenger vessel clears and the two cargo ships enter, you can follow those in. Following the Great Mariner.
Matt, actually, I think did brilliance on Thanksgiving, if I recall. I'd love to do a Thanksgiving cruise.
Following the Great Mariner.
I've done one on Christmas, but not Thanksgiving. This, no, I'm definitely not a corporate RCL profile. I just really enjoy cruising. I love cruising, love talking about cruising, love going on cruising, love trying to educate people about cruising, but I'm not that smart, so it doesn't always work out. At the RCL blog is also not associated with the Royal Caribbean line. It's just a great site, RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, run by Matt, a good friend and cruise enthusiast. New Zealand cruise. Everywhere that I've been in the world, which has always been on a cruise ship pretty much, I have run into Kiwis. People in New Zealand love to travel. And I hear great things about New Zealand. And if there's a place that has great things about it, then you should visit on a cruise ship. You say, but there are landlocked places that are nice. Sure. Well then build a channel. No. Alaska was awesome. Yep, we just did Alaska just about a year ago on the Oceania Regatta. Enjoyed, 10, 12 nights. Later, Gerald, thanks for joining both times. Miss you guys. And really enjoyed Alaska. We left out of San Francisco, and then it ended in Vancouver. Spent some time in Vancouver afterwards. Great experience. Highly recommend everyone does an Alaska sailing at some point. Really beautiful and something very different than Caribbean cruising. There are lots of great cruise destinations out there, not just Caribbean. Keep that in mind. So as mentioned, that was the last one of the day, leaving out of Port Everglades here in Fort Lauderdale. So Be sure to follow at Monorail Medic on Twitter and Periscope. We're out here every week. Next week, we might, maybe, possibly, no promises, even be out here twice. We'll see what happens for both Saturday and Sunday. But usually out here on Sundays, and we can watch. I am done for the day, Rick. That was the last vessel. But follow, and you can see all the ships that are here next weekend. Like I said earlier today, we had the Allure. You could have seen the Pacific Princess, could have seen the Carnival Conquest, Jewel of the Seas. So make sure to follow and enjoy your evening. Thanks for watching along with me, putting up with my voice, and check out RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. It's a good site. Have a magical evening, everyone.